Welcome in, everyone. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that motherfucking bell icon for all notifications to know when Bitcoin is up 5%, hitting towards actually, $67,000. Guys, a lot of momentum is quickly beginning to come into the market. Quite oftentimes, I've shared with you guys that things can change on a dime. The market's not going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, it's go time. And that's why it's important to be vigilant in the market and accumulate at low price levels, because you're afforded the position then that when we do get a downturn, you're not concerned about it, right? The other thing we need to do, although we're getting some significant rise to the upside here, is we need to do what we always do on this channel, which is to objectively look at the charts and talk about the key price levels that we're going to want to watch for. So I want to highlight those. There's a couple other things to point out in some of these charts, and we're going to sort of follow the flow of what we typically do on this stream to paint an accurate picture of how the market is looking at the moment. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, because there are still key price levels that we need to get above and maintain above in order to feel convicted that we're truly seeing a turnaround in the market. But with that being said, let's get into it. Raghorn, my friend, good day. Middle of the afternoon, right, guys? On a Friday, it is almost 3:30 here on the East Coast in South Florida. Okay, let's focus in on this 12-hour chart. We're at the highs of today. I'm live streaming at a great point today where literally you can look at this 12-hour candlestick. Barely a wick there. We are at 67,200. Now, what have I spoken to on the 12-hour chart? Well, what I spoke to is once we got out of this accumulation range here, I think there was some bullish divergence in the RSI. I had commented that it was very good to see us maintaining price levels right around this 200 simple moving average, which is the pink line. You can also see there was an area of support, an area of price confluence here at 63.8 that sort of coincided with the 200 simple moving average. We maintained that price level, right? If this was a fake out to the upside or some sort of essentially a lower high that we would feel less convinced about it being bullish, what we would have seen is a turn up here and an instant rejection, and we would have had problems even reclaiming this 50 simple moving average of support, and we would have been drifting down here. That's not what happened. When we got that major impulsive move up, I loved to see the consolidation being formed here to provide price support. Now, on the 12-hour chart, what I signaled to you guys is I really wanted to see us get into this region right here. This would be the most ideal region by the end of the week. I signaled to you guys that we would like to get into between 65.6 and 68. It lines up with other price confluence and other time frames. So far, so good. What we want to see out of this candlestick, this 12-hour candlestick, and essentially for the close of the day, this is the price level you want to watch for today. Does Bitcoin close at or above 65,600? That is the question. That's what you want to watch for today, okay? But so far, so good. If we look at the price indicators, we're looking really healthy. It looks like the RSI seemingly wants to pop up above 70. Of course, we have seen some significant price action when the RSI has popped above 20, or excuse me, when the RSI has popped above 20. No, we don't want the RSI at 20. When the RSI has popped above 70, we've seen significant rises in the price. You can see all of this price action. You can see here when we got above 70, all of this price action. So we're just starting to get to a point right now. If we zoom in here, you can see where the relative strength index. See how we battled here? We got all the way up to, if I kind of hone in here, you can see at this point right here, we got to 70.5, and right now we're at essentially 70. So another key thing you could watch for if you want to watch the 12-hour chart with me, which is one of the charts I routinely take a look at, take a look at this 70 level on the RSI. If we flip in on the daily, you can see one of the items I had pointed out to you guys, which was great to see. We got this small deviation below the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. We since quickly reclaimed that. Not only did we reclaim the 200 simple moving average as support, the other thing that's really good to see here, we've reclaimed the purple line, which is the 50 simple moving average. And right now, you guys should know what this is. I don't just read the charts to you and tell you what's going on. I educate you guys. This is a bullish engulfing candle. In fact, I will call this a double bullish engulfing candle. It's engulfing the entire bodies. It doesn't have to encapsulate the wicks, but it's encapsulating the entire bodies of these two candles here. So long as we can close above 65,000, like 160, it's going to engulf both of these candlesticks. Very, very, very bullish. If we go to the price indicators, MACD, we've gotten the positive confirmation. We are above zero. We have a positive cross. Full steam ahead. Now, one of the interesting charts I did want to take a look at with you guys that we haven't revisited in quite some time. This was this unique chart. I'm not going to spell it out to you. If you've been here, you know what it is. This is the 3-day chart. This is the 125 simple moving average, which is an average of the 250-day simple moving average. Take 200, add 50, divide by 2, you get 125. That's how I came up with this moving average, and this is a unique value-added view that is telling us, based on current price action, we have no reason to be concerned about price action unless we started to break below this moving average here. You can see we've been trending up. Now, to restate what I've shared in the past, trying to come up with some sort of reasonable estimate which provides price confluence to other targets I've shared with you. I've shared right around that 115, 125, 135 range for Bitcoin at a potential blow off top. Taking the average of the past two times, we've gotten a bullish. This chart has flashed bullish. If we take an average of the prior two returns, which is reasonable, it's a more recent average. We're not going back to 2016 or 15 when price was less mature. You can see it results in approximately a 5.3x, which would put us up at 130, right? Timing's always difficult, right? Just reiterated to my family today, melt up before meltdown. Timing is always difficult. This could very well bleed well into 2025. But this chart is telling us that it is quite possible we could reach heights of 130,000 for Bitcoin. Now, there's another basic premise that we quite often talk about on this channel. And beyond the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative that we quite frequently talk about, the other, for the higher highs and higher lows, right? But the other common thing that we do talk about as I'm searching for the chart I'm looking for is that when we're viewing price action, it's very important to keep in mind the time frame that we are evaluating price on. Okay, for a couple different reasons. One is, in generalities, so long as there's enough price data, the higher time frame views, because there's more price action consolidated within each candlestick, the more higher time frame of view that you're looking at, the more credible the picture is in terms of what it is we're looking at. The second thing that we need to keep in mind is that so long as bullish momentum sustains itself on the lower time frames like the 12-hour, the daily, the 3-day, that begins to bleed over into the higher time frames like a 2-month chart. Now, we spent some time talking about, quite interestingly enough, if these two wicks are going to provide us sort of our range that we're sort of stuck in, and once we break this 74, we're going to see a breakout, right? Remember, Gravestone Doji, we spoke about this several months ago. Gravestone Doji told us we would more than likely get a downturn in the market, which we've seen. Look at this 2-month candlestick. This is a massively bullish candlestick. Now, we are fairly early into printing this, right? We still have to get all the way through the month of August, okay? So if we sort of count up the days there, you can see there's 12 days. Yeah, 31 days in August. That's what I thought, just making sure. So there are 43 days to go. Shit ton can happen in 43 days. But interestingly enough, what I did want to turn your attention to, speaking of lower time frames bleeding into higher time frames, guys, we only have 12 days to close out the monthly candlestick. Let's move this out of the way. 12 days to close out the monthly candlestick. Now, a lot can happen. Look at this candlestick. Sweet baby Jesus. This is a massive green hammer candle formation. This is a major sign of a trend reversal to the upside. They also routinely come in at the bottoms of downturns in the market, and to which price begins to pivot to the upside. Pivot. I'm not a big Friends fan, but I do remember the Pivot episode. Pivot. For all those who used to watch that show. I'm dating myself back to high school. Cheers. But what this could be signaling to us is while we did see a downturn on this 2-month here, we're starting to get an early indication here on a higher time frame view that downside could be over and done with. Our local bottom could be in. Now, if this prints bullish by the end of the month and we get anything remotely close to what is pictured here, you sure as shit better believe that on a month time frame, this bullish price action, this is going to feed into this candlestick, which is the 2-month chart. And this candlestick is comprised of July and August. And so what I'm signaling to you is this candlestick is going to be a fuck ton bullish. And I would anticipate if we don't see new all-time highs by July, we will certainly see new all-time highs by August. Do you hear what I'm saying? We will see how we have to remain level-headed and objective, right? We've got to clear 74,000 to create a new all-time high. But right now, if this candlestick prints in this fashion, the odds are strongly in our favor that by the month of August, we will see new all-time highs in Bitcoin if it doesn't happen sooner. Now, if we take a look at the 2-month chart, we look at the price indicators, love to see the RSI pushing up against 70. Okay, still, got to have a little bit of reservation here because we have a lot of days still to close that candlestick out. But if we look at the monthly, let's check out where we're at here. RSI is at, we still got plenty of room to the upside. We're at 67. We're below 70. And the other thing I'd like to point out, we very routinely talk about the stochastic RSI being an indication of momentum. And right now, not only is the stochastic RSI in positive territory, it looks like we could see a bullish cross this month if price sustains itself and we could push above 70. Monumentally bullish. Now, the other thing that I did want to point out, which has eluded me so far, that I was thinking about, is the weekly. So if we go on to the weekly, a couple things we're going to want to watch for here. First off, I'm watching the MACD. I want to see how this looks at the end of the week. Stochastic RSI is looking good, but I want to see this continuing to curl up. Check out the RSI, though. You know I'm concerned about this, okay? This is why I'm saying we're not out of the woods. Not trying to steal the thunder today. Everybody's excited. It's all great. We're not out of the woods yet. The RSI is still technically in a downtrend. Yes, this is technically not the way you want to draw this here and draw this through here, but I'm trying to indicate to you we're in a downtrend, right? So really, for me to start getting comfortable here on the weekly, something else I'm going to be looking for is let's break this downtrend. We're coming into contact with it right here, okay? We fell below, was it 54? I don't have it drawn here. And we actually broke this uptrend too, which I don't like to see. I didn't notice that until now. So there are some things on the weekly that leave me feeling a little, and again, this is why it's important to objectively look at things. I thought I had an area painted here. Well, in any case, I'm pretty sure by recollection the area was 54. Historically, when we've lost, where was that? Well, in any case, pretty sure that the area was 54. So historically on the weekly chart, one of the things we have talked about is when the relative strength index on the weekly gets above 70 and then has a drop below 54, there's been significant downturn, right, in the market. So in order to avoid that based on this chart, and we have an opportunity, but not only do we need to get above 54, it's great, we're at 60. A couple things I'm watching for on this chart. One, I don't want to see negative divergence. I do not want to see negative divergence. I don't want to start printing in higher highs on this weekly chart and having the RSI looking like this, and the RSI is lower. Okay, and we're sort of coming down here, and then we create a new all-time high, and the RSI sort of tops out here. Well, then we got a lower high, right? So I'm going to be watching for that. The other thing is I'm watching to see for the relative strength index to get back above 70. So it's not just good on the weekly Bitcoin chart that the RSI has broken back above 54. If we go in times past and take a look at history, that's not the thing that's going to quote-unquote save us. The thing that's going to quote-unquote save us on this chart, at least based on this view, is that we need to get back above 70, because when we are at 70 or above on the weekly chart, we see monumental rises to the upside. So this is something we're going to be paying particular attention to. A couple other charts I at least wanted to put on your radar. I have a trade position in Synapse. This thing has a tendency to have monumental breaks to the upside. Right now, what I'm seeing, you can actually see it on a 3-day as well. I'm seeing some bullish divergence on the daily. This is sort of my initial zone that I'm targeting to take some profits between 59 and 77. But you can see the last time this thing had a significant run, we bottomed out around 27 cents and rode it all the way up to $2. We pulled nearly a 10x. So, this is not the most stellar chart. This isn't something that, ideally you'd want to be invested in from the start. But you can see right now, at the moment, we still have what could be a trend reversal to the upside. This could be something that could run pretty hard up to the $3 or $4 range once it really starts getting moving here. So I have a trade position there. And then again, XRP, this is one that we touched on a couple days ago. Of course, the price levels I had spoken to, this is why I exercised caution. Never good to see. I mean, it's the complete opposite of what I just spoke to on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin had a huge run up here, we consolidated and then moved up. You can see XRP so far isn't really showing me much at all. It ran up, it had a bearish engulfing candle, and we've since held the 200 simple moving average on the daily as an area of support, which is a good sign. It's good. You don't want to start seeing prices close below 54 cents. If you start to see daily closes below 54 cents, not a positive sign. But it's all about this weekly view and getting back above the 200. Once XRP pushes back above the pink line, the 200 simple moving average at approximately 60 cents, I do anticipate a very big run to the upside, possibly getting up towards, trying to make a run towards these price areas up here at $1.30, perhaps $1.50, 60 area. So I do anticipate a big snap up here, but it's got to start breaking above 60 cents. It's not really showing me too much right now. Let's see who else we have in the live stream. Disclosure Crypto, welcome in, Todd. You can't see me, but super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. Let's see. Today's not TA Q&A, my friend. We'll see if we have time. Let me see what other... By the way, did want to throw out a comment in terms of thoughts for Sunday. So what I would say is Sunday is shaping up to be a very big weekly close. And as you know, I said, based on my availability, I'd be here for Sunday closes. So let's see, based on my other obligations, if I have time. Time permitting, I will live stream on Sunday. But if I, for whatever reason, if I can't, then we'll make sure to have a really good covering of the weekly closes on Monday. I will definitely be here Monday. So let's take a look at other price action going on. I know at one point Solana was up big today. Yeah, Solana was up by like 7%. Meme coins are having a really nice run. Great to see here. This weekly, again, MACD is starting to turn around. We could get a positive cross by the beginning of next week. RSI is beginning to turn around, getting up towards 60. And the stochastic RSI is also turning around. We're well above 20, pushing up. So right now, my belief, based on where the market is at, once you start seeing Solana up here in this range, it's going to break through like a hot knife through butter, and we're going to have new all-time highs. The real question is, it'll be interesting. Will Ethereum, I'm curious, if you guys want to, of course we'll take a look at Caspa. If you guys want to comment below, I'd be curious. What is your opinion? If you think Ethereum is going to reach a new all-time high before Solana, drop ETH in the chat. If you think vice versa, that Solana will, drop Sol in the chat. I'd be very curious where at least my community stands. And by the way, if I had to pick one, I'm certainly not going to bias any of your answers, but if I were to pick one, I'm actually going to say that Ethereum will. I think too many people are down on Ethereum. So Ethereum showing some strength here too. Again, I've spoken about this area at 3650. That's the key area I want to see above. Guys, it's important to note that typically on the weekends, we do see low volume days. Okay, that is par for the course. Sorry about that. That is par for the course. But when action begins really picking up on this market, it is quite routine to see price action heavily pick up on the weekends. So don't fall asleep this weekend, okay? I'm going to be paying particular attention to the charts this weekend, and we'll have to obviously see how we close today, but don't fall asleep on the markets. Yeah, Ethereum's looking good. Let's take a look at Kaspa. Again, I had, for all you following, I don't know why you wouldn't be following me on Twitter, but in the event you're not following me on Twitter for whatever reason, at Crypto Bull God, it's all one word, by the way. Don't follow any of the scam accounts. It's one word, Crypto Bull God. So I tweeted this out earlier today. I took the opportunity to accumulate more Kaspa. Every single time I think that I have completed my accumulation on Kaspa, I'm like, no, I think the market's providing too much of an opportunity. So I've become even a bigger whale today. It's my largest altcoin holding by far, and I've shared that with you guys. Let's get into a more granular time frame. Well, let's take a look at the weekly. Hidden bullish divergence on the stochastic RSI. Yeah, the weekly looks good, but let's get into like a 3-day here, maybe. This may not be what I'm looking for. That's fine. Well, we're right in the zone. We're right in the zone. This candlestick is set to close today. Now, for Kaspa, what I'd like to see, if we get the 3-day candlestick to close right around where it's at right now, 18.2 cents, 18.1 cents, that will be the highest 3-day close on Kaspa ever. Okay, you can see, look at the body. You couldn't close above this area. Couldn't close above this area. Couldn't close above the area. Couldn't close above the area. Right now, we are above this area. Don't lose patience with Kaspa if you're in it. If you do, you don't know what, you have no idea what you may potentially miss out on. This is the USD chart, the Bitcoin pairing chart, the Solana pairing chart, the Ethereum pairing chart. It's the strongest altcoin in the entire market, not to mention the fundamentals. Yeah, I would not sleep on this. This looks like one giant ascending triangle at the moment. This pattern here, if we kind of clean this up a little, we hide some of this stuff. Let's save this, and then I'm going to undo this. Take a look at what we got here, okay? We essentially have this, and we got this, okay? So we're just waiting for a break to the upside. Now, if you've been in this asset long enough, you know some of the largest moves I feel like I've seen in Kaspa have occurred on a Sunday for whatever reason. So I'm going to be eagerly watching this one. I think that given that the market continues with the momentum that we're showing here, this thing's going to be well above 20 cents extremely shortly, like extremely shortly. If we check out the Kaspa BTC relativity chart, again, I don't know why the hell you would be bearish here. Right now. Okay. We got to break this trend right here. You see what's going on. Look at the lower highs coming in. We consolidated right at prior price confluence at our all-time highs back here. We consolidated at those price levels. Right now, we are in a general uptrend, but we formed a lower high. Once you see this, if you're watching the CASPA BTC relativity chart, okay, once you start to see this relativity chart get right up into this range in here, right in here, we're going to be setting new all-time highs. We want to challenge this lower high right here. So in order to do that, let me put it in layman's terms for you guys. When CASPA begins to outperform Bitcoin by roughly 30%, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. 30%, some quick math, 3.6, 5.4. If Bitcoin maintained its current relative price level, it would put CASPA at approximately close to 24 cents. Okay, once we start, now, if Bitcoin maintains its price level, if Bitcoin appreciates another 10%, add 10% onto that. But right around 24 cents. So that's telling me as long as Bitcoin sort of consolidates in this area, once CASPA is pushing up towards 24 cents, that's telling me we're going to soon be entering new all-time highs on this relativity chart sooner than probably the majority think. The other thing I'd be interested to look at, I haven't looked at this chart in a little bit. Let's check out the CAS Sol relativity chart. Again, lower highs coming in. We need to break the lower high region. But again, we had a parabolic move up. We've since been consolidating in here. The beautiful thing about a consolidation, a range like this, is you're creating price confluence for price to gravitate back towards if and when it corrects, right? Now, we don't want to see a deviation below. The only way I'd get concerned with this chart is if we start breaking below this green line, which I'm not anticipating. But again, once you start appreciating against Solana by approximately, let's say closer to 100%, I would expect new all-time highs on this chart. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. What was the other chart I wanted to take a look at with you guys? Wow, we're up 5%. Great to see. There was another chart I wanted to... Let's take a look at the dollar. Oh, I know what I wanted to look at. Bitcoin dominance. I haven't looked at this yet today. We all know I sound like a broken record what we're watching for. Yeah, we just need to be patient. Wait for that 53 level to break. We're at 55.5 right now. DXY. This is probably breaking down, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're relatively flat. Yeah, the other thing I'd point out with the DXY, interestingly enough, when we're expecting a downtrend, you can see we've broken below the, again, disclosure, this isn't TA Q&A day, my friend. This is Tuesdays and Thursdays is TA Q&A. You can see we've broken below the 200 simple moving average here, okay? And that should theoretically act as an area of resistance. So right now you can see ever since we've broken below here, we're struggling to get back above the 200, which is good for us because it's inversely correlated with the traditional markets. The other thing I'd like to take a look at with you guys is, let's take a look at Total 3. So Total 3 is essentially all of altcoins, just removing Ethereum, so it's not skewing our view. Very good that we reclaim this range here. Very good that we reclaim this range. Really not getting excited until we move up another. Total 3's got to move up another and reclaim and stay, move up another 12%. Get right up into this area right here, right up in here, and stay up there. Then we can start to get a little bit more excited. Keep in mind, one of the things that I had communicated with you guys, okay, which seems like it may be playing out right now. It may be. And again, we have to kind of allow these charts to figure out what they want to do. But remember, one of the things that we spoke about was how important and good and healthy it was to see a consolidation occurring in generalities within this range, right? right? Now, again, we had a deviation here where we formed our low, but in generalities, this would look a lot cleaner if we were on the daily or 3-day or weekly. But again, we spoke about how important this was. And the thing I said to you was that very soon, remember, I said last week that last week and this week were critical weeks in telling us, in helping to formulate our view of where price was likely to go in the shorter to intermediate term, right? And so what I shared with you at that time is what we're going to, in hindsight, look back on is realize is this is one of two things. This was either a range deviation, we're going to pop up to the upside, and once we pop up back up into this upside, we shouldn't be spending a lot of time in here. We should be coming back up. Or if we're spending a lot of time in this range, more than likely we're rolling over, okay? And this wasn't a range deviation. This is the beginnings of, lower lows and lower highs, right? Which is still on the table, guys. I just want to throw out there, everything that I've spoken to, as bullish as everything is looking, we're not out of the woods yet. Again, if we stay and start consolidating in this area for a long period of time, chances are we drift lower and break. What you want to see, you don't want to see a straight shot up, but you do want to see a little bit of consolidation, but then continued trend reversal to the upside. Again, expectation is now that we're in this area, I just said this 2 days ago, now that we're right in the middle of this band, either way, I just want to make this crystal clear. Either way, I do not anticipate staying in this area for long. I don't, okay? We're either breaking to the upside soon or we're breaking back down to the downside soon. It's one or the other, okay? You don't, and the whole reason is you don't spend this much time consolidating, deviate, get back in here, and then start consolidating for 3 more months. That's not what's going to happen. Again, could it happen? Absolutely. But the probability of it, what I'm attempting to explain, is it's very low. The higher probability scenario is we either roll over and it's a fake out and it's lower high, which is still on the table, or we begin pushing to the upside and we're above 74,000 pretty quickly here. So things are definitely starting to pick up, which is why I've told you that the market is not going to tap you on the shoulder. When the market wants to move, it's going to motherfucking move. I think that's all I have for you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in to a mid-afternoon stream. Again, just wanted to give you my view on the markets. Things are very, very, very much turning to the upside here. Things are looking great. Your memes are up. Pepe's having a great day. WIF had a great day the other day, and it's still up 5% today. Wojak's having a great day. Where's Brett at? Is it all the way at the bottom here? Oh, Brett's up double digits. Let's take a look at the mid caps. Here's the mid caps. Having a great day. Where's Render at? Render's up 4%. Yeah, we're having a great day overall, guys. So let's hang in there and see how things shape up for the weekend. And like I said, time permitting with other obligations, I will be here on Sunday. Worst case scenario is I'm not here Sunday, but then we'll extensively cover the critical weekly close on Monday. And again, the only view I've really sort of painted that I've shared with you guys that's sort of leaving me a little skittish, the only view at the moment is this weekly RSI. This is something I really want to keenly watch in the coming weeks to pop above 70. Something we're going to watch for. Because, again, we're still in a downtrend on this RSI. It's the only thing I'm looking at where I'm like, okay, keep an eye on that. Besides that, things are looking peachy. They're looking peachy. All right, guys. Until next time, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care of yourselves, all right? Have a good weekend and get outside and do something fun. Get some steps in. Go for a walk. It's very good for your health. It sounds simple, but it's one of the basic things I've changed in my life, just going for walks every day, and I can see and feel the benefits. So strongly encourage it. Take care, everyone.